Blessings, a community of spouses. Listen, Coach T here today, and I want to share a brief word with my wives on today, just a brief word. As always, I want to encourage you to stand for your marital covenant as we continue to stand on Matthew 19:6. What God has joined together, let not man separate. Listen, I want to speak to my wives, or my wives to be, I should say. I have a question. Are we wifey or are we witchy? Like, which one are we? Are we wifey or are we witchy? Because I have been coming in contact with a lot of wives who act and talk like witches. Now, you probably saying, I know doggone well Coach T is not on here calling us a witch. I know she's not calling us a witch. But baby, this witch stuff is serious. You want to make sure that you are not signed up and working for the evil one himself. Now, I know back in the day, you know, people look at witches as the lady on the broom. You know, she in the kitchen stirring stuff up in pots. The one with the big green nose and a little mark on there. You know, that's how society had viewed witches for a long time. But honey, it is time to get wise. It is time to get wisdom. And one of the things that we need to be aware of as wives is when we are manipulating, controlling, overbearing with our husbands, trying to make them do what we want to do, we are working for the devil. We are working for the devil. And at that point, we are no longer in wife status. We are in witchy status. We are in witchy status. And it is a door opener for witchcraft to come into your home. It is a door opener. So this give you some examples. You know, I've come into, you know, the woman and I've been a witch before too. So, you know, I'm not just calling you a witch. I'm calling myself that too, because I once too was that. But it's time to get it's time to get wisdom. It's time to get understanding. My husband don't do nothing I ask him to do. I keep having to tell him the same thing over and over again. He's not listening. I know one thing. He better have those dishes washed if you want me to cook his dinner. Oh, I'm not having sex with you until you apologize. Girl, my husband is, You know what you just did? You have just put a word curse over your husband. You have just now walked into witch territory. When you start making those type of responses and you start demanding from your husband some things that you want him to do, or you asking him to do and he hadn't did it yet, and you keep on trying to tell him over and over again, and you catching an attitude and getting mad because he ain't doing it, breathing all hard, doing all that kind of stuff, you have walked away from wife status and walked into witch territory. Listen, wives, you have to be careful about the things that you're saying to your spouse. If you have gone to your spouse and said, listen, honey, can you do X, Y, and Z? And he's like, okay, but then he don't do it. And you're like, honey, are you going to do X, Y, and Z? And he's like, okay, but he still don't do it. Listen, let that go. You go give it to God at that time. The moment you start saying, I thought I told you to do X, Y, and Z. I thought I told you to take the trash out. See, you sold this and you sold that. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to be around you. When you start doing all that kind of stuff, you are no longer his wife. You are no longer his wife. You're not even his mother at that point. You are that ugly, unpleasant witch. You are a witch in his life. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 7:14 that for the unbelieving husband, he has been sanctified through his wife. Wives, we are called to cover him, to protect him, to love him, and to pray for him. Just because you've asked your husband to do something and he decided he has not did it, or he don't want to do it, or check this one out. He may do it, and he may do it just temporarily only because you said so. And then that makes you even more hotter because he's only doing it because you said so. No, some things, God, most things, not just some, we have to go to God in prayer. We have to go to God in prayer. Proverbs 31:12 says, she brings him good and not harm all the days of his life. Listen, we are called to bring our husbands good, wives. We are called to bring him good, not harm. When we come on with that nagging in his ear, or we be trying to demand our way, or we be wanting him to do things that he don't do, giving him this honey-do list and all this kind of stuff. Listen, make sure that your husband is okay with a honey-do list. Everybody don't want no honey-do list. He don't need you telling him what to do. He ain't no kid. He don't need you writing no notes for him and telling him, hey, do A, B, C. No, he's not a child. He's not a child. He's your husband. He's your husband. And we as wives are to honor him as that. We are to honor him as that. Your husband is not your child. He's God's child. Don't be his witch, wife. Don't be his witch. Be his wife. Integrity is her stance. She makes moves in humility and is led by her Appa Father. This is some of the words from my mentor, wife's mentor book. Anything you need or you want your husband to do, take it to God in prayer. You get a much, much better result with one, a soft word, and two, going to God. Go to God first. Go to God first about anything. If it's something that he's not doing and you know he's supposed to be doing as a husband, go to God. You take it to God because God is the middleman for you and your spouse. He is the middleman. He is that third chord string in your marital covenant. He was a witness on your wedding day, and he made you, wife, the helper. He made you the helper because God knew your husband would need help. He knew one day that something was going to come up and he was going to need your help. God, listen, guys, God's talking about helping him by praying for him, helping him by protecting him, helping him by covering him, helping him by loving him, helping him by strengthening him and supporting him and uplifting him, not by making him be your child, not by demanding your way, not by, girl, my husband know that I don't play these type of games, and my husband know that, you know, if he want this and that to happen, he got to do this, that, and that. No. He is not your child. He is not your child. So God says, come to him. Give all your cares and concerns to him about your spouse. Do not be his witch, wives. Do not be his witch by trying to control his every move. Be his wife and cover his wounds. So let's see what a wife is supposed to be doing. Let's give you a definition of a wife. A wife is a female partner in a continuing marital relationship. That means ongoing. You don't ever stop being his wife. Doesn't matter how he's acting. If he's not acting like a husband, if he's not acting or doing his part, you don't ever stop being his wife. You continue to be his wife. He act ugly, you act good. He go left, you go right. He go down, you go up. You continue to be a wife because, listen, wives, we are held accountable for our part, our role as wife in the marital covenant. God judges us all. He judges us all. And so we have an accountability to God to be his wife, even if he's not being the husband. Your role as wife is so crucial. That can be either a breaking moment for him or it can be a gain for him, okay? You, wife, give your husband the strength to succeed. You nurture the children, you stay healthy, and you do well in their life. You, wife, play a major role in the marital covenant. You don't have any room. You don't have any room to be the witch, because you're too busy trying to be successful. You're too busy trying to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're too busy trying to please God. You're too busy focusing on what your plans are concerning your marital covenant in your household. You don't have room to do anything else. You have the ability to take care of every minute detail at your home. Listen, we got the hardest job. We have the hardest job. And one of the things that we have to make sure that we maintain at all times is being that man's wife, being his wife. A wife is mature, okay? She's not bossy. A wife is faithful. She's not sneaky. A wife is a supporter. She's not a hater. A wife is responsible, hardworking, not wasteful or lazy. A wife is resourceful, not needy. A wife is an entrepreneur. She don't just do her 9 to 5. She got goals, honey. She got things that she's trying to do, okay? A wife is a servant, not a slave. A wife is a good steward over herself and of her time, not sloppy and unproductive. I remember being in medical assistant school, and it was a male teacher, a Caucasian male teacher. He said to us, it was a group of women, it was no guys in his class. And he said to us, he said, listen, I want to give you ladies just a bonus. This has nothing to do with your assignment. This has nothing to do with what you guys are learning. But because I am a husband, I want to share this with you. Now, I don't know if we was in that classroom looking some kind of way. I don't remember if we was talking about men or what, or our husbands or what have you. But this man paused the whole classroom for a moment and was like, listen, make sure, wives, or if you plan on being a wife, when your husband is gone all day from work and you're home with the kids, or you at home, or, you know, it's a weekend and you're home and he comes home, make sure that you are in decent and in order. Make sure that your hair is did, that you got clothes on, that you're not walking around the house with a scarf on your head. Make sure that you looking like somebody when that man comes to the door. Listen, he said when men are out all day long at work and around pretty women all day long, he do not want to come home to his raghead looking wife. Come on, Jesus. This man was preaching, and I didn't even know about Jesus like that back then. But this man, those words always stuck to me. Those words always stuck to me. He said, make sure that you are in place, that you got your stuff together. A Caucasian man said this. It wasn't no African-American man. And he was telling us, it was a lot of African-American women in there, but it was also some Caucasian women in there as well. But he was basically telling us, get y'all stuff together. Don't be having that man coming home looking at you all sideways and stuff. Make sure that you got your stuff together. Don't be looking like a witch. Don't be walking around with your hair weave all messed up and stuff. Get yourself together. So I just want to throw that in there, okay? A wife is confident, not arrogant. She's not arrogant. A wife is wise, not deceiving. A wife builds up, not tear down. A wife prioritizes her husband, not suppress him, depress him, stress him. No, she doesn't do that. You want to make everything comfortable for him. Listen, even when he making everything uncomfortable for you, you want to make things comfortable for him, because at the end of the day, wives, you want God to say to you, well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done, my child. Well done. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, even if he's not doing his part, you make sure that you maintain your part. This is part of your accountability as his wife. A wife is submissive and meek, not confrontational and weak. A wife is integral, and she has integrity, and she's loyal. She's not competitive and all-knowing. You don't know everything. And if you think you know everything, somebody done told you a story, because you do not know everything. Know what you know, stick to what you know, do what you do. Be his wife. You're not going to be everybody else's wife. You're going to be your husband's wife. She fears the Lord. She hears from the Lord. She obeys the Lord. When I was a girl, I thought as a girl. I spoke as a girl. I understood as a girl. I thought as a girl. But when I became a wife, I put away girly things. Listen, wives, witchcraft is so rapid nowadays. It's running through the entire world. It is coming to households. It's coming to marriages. It's coming to churches. It's coming where our children rest at. It is coming. It's happening. Make sure that you are not being that witch to your husband. Make sure that you're not tearing your husband down, even if he is not walking like the man that you want him to be, even if he has made a wrong turn, even if he is not doing what you know that he can do, even if he's not working out his best. You want to make sure that you are doing your part. And one of your main responsibilities as his wife is to pray for him. God is going to ask you, okay, well, you see him doing this. Okay, well, you see him going on this wrong path. Okay, well, you see him. Why was you not praying for him? Why you wasn't lifting him up? Why you was beating him over the head? Why you was pushing him out the house? Why you was making him be like this? Why you didn't do your part, wife? Why didn't you do your part? He's going to be held accountable for his part to God, and you're going to be held accountable for yours. So I just wanted to throw that out there and put that out there on blast, and just remind wives, listen, all this, oh, I'm wifey. Are you wifey or are you witchy? You got to choose. You can't be both, ladies. I hope this message has been a blessing to you. Blessings.